Hello everyone, Dave here with some thoughts on another knife for you guys. This is a knife I've been waiting for a number of years now, and I'm absolutely thrilled that I'm finally able to make this video for you guys. The knife you see before you, maybe some of you guys will recognize it, is the Benchmade AFCK. The Benchmade AFCK, Advanced Folding Combat Knife, was originally designed by Caracci, former U.S. Navy SEAL, member of SEAL Team 6. So he designed the knife with a lot of intent and purpose behind it for essentially use in his world, as he described it. The original design was first offered to Spyderco. It was loosely designed upon their police model with a number of changes that Chris wanted to see in it. Spyderco did pass on the design, and he then took it to Benchmade, and with a few changes, they basically produced a knife, and this is what you got. This is the mini version. Obviously, the full-size one is a whole other story. But basically, one of the main things that he liked about the knife was the curvature of it. He wanted to increase the finger indentation, provide a little bit more space here for grip, keeping the profile of the knife, and what he really liked was the angle of grip for the employment of the knife. It originally featured a liner lock design, which Chris was a big fan of, still is, and it was around for a number of years, and finally basically Benchmade discontinued it. Over the years, they have done a number of limited release versions of it, sometimes in D2 steel, sometimes with carbon fiber handles, so forth and so on. This is the latest incarnation of it, and it recently came out this month. There was a lot of prompting on the Benchmade forums to get this knife re-released, and I will say I am a little bit disappointed because they unfortunately did the release as limited again. They did not bring the knife back into full production. They made a total of 500 models, 250 of them, like you see here, in the serrated version, partially serrated, and 250 in the plain edge. So it was released to their premium dealer network. Each dealer got a certain allotment, and that's it. Unfortunately, and you could probably look on eBay now, I did earlier today, and there are unfortunately a lot of them, or a number of them, going out there for way above what they originally retailed for. So there is a large amount of flipping out there. Unfortunately, some guys just did it for whatever profit, and they basically took the chance of someone who really wanted a knife. Basically took their chance away, and now are going to try and give it back to them at a premium. It's unfortunate, but it's the way things work, and hey, if guys want it and they could do it, they'll still pick it up. But I really wish they had done a full production release of this knife. Who knows, maybe next time around they will. Any respect, this is the knife that they just released. It is essentially the original AFCK design. It now features M4 steel. Very nice there, and the Benchmade access lock. Chris actually had a little bit of commentary. He was approached when they originally were going to release the previous limited edition of it, which I believe was in D2 steel, with the access lock design, and they asked his opinion. Some guys asked his opinion on one of the shows and on the forums as well, and Chris was not a fan of it. He preferred the liner lock for the type of use he intended the knife for, and he went on to describe and then to show, from my understanding, how the access lock could be disengaged with a couple of different types of maneuvers that he had actually employed the knife in, and was actually able to disengage it, which is, something to say there. So the original intent and purpose of the knife doesn't seem to sit well with the access lock design. But anyway, for utilitarian purposes, and for probably the majority of us in our use, the access lock is perfectly fine and probably better than anything we could ever hope for. So there is that. It features G10 handles with very thick stainless steel spacers in there. It is not a light knife. It's pretty heavy. It is a 4-inch blade with about essentially a 4-inch handle. In the closed position, you can see it here, essentially it takes up the entire length of the handle to the blade. So it is a large folder. If you have a military or police model, unfortunately I don't, it's going to come in at roughly the same size. So there you have it. It is a very aggressive type of blade, very sharp needle tip, for piercing action, relatively thick blade. And one of the main things that I always liked about the knife, and which I carried around and used for a long time, is just the ergonomics and feel of the knife in hand. It is very, very ergonomically comfortable. It just melds into your grip. As you can see here, it essentially is the same knife. Nothing, Benchmade did not do any type of, modifications, or aside from the locking mechanism, it is the same knife. One of the cool things, the G10 is much better now than it used to be. It's highly textured, while mine has been worn down a bit over the years, so take it for what you will. But you can sort of see there. They did change the serrations. They're much more, in the old days, you could sort of see there, the type of serration they used. Now, on the new version, it's a much more aggressive, definitely sharper. I could definitely see a better use for this. This knife is not going to see much use, unfortunately. I've waited too long, and this is basically a collector's piece for me. It brings back a lot of memories, and happy to see it again. But the other thing they changed is, previously, it was originally tip-down carry, right-hand side, no way to change that. Now they offer it basically four-way carry, tip-up, tip-down, left side, right side. So that's a nice little change. Some guys, I guess, were fortunate enough to get multiple copies, so they will have the ability to put one away and, use one every day. It'd be great to use it, but I would just, I'd die if I lost the thing. Well, I wouldn't, but you know what I mean. Same lanyard hole, 2 screws, basically they've kept it tried and true. It remains basically pretty much flow-through design. However, now it is full flow-through with just a couple of pillar constructions. Before they had a backspacer, and the original and in the other re-release, I believe it also had a backspacer. They've now gone to basically full flow-through construction. Same Benchmade clip, nothing new there. So, originally it came out in ATS 34 steel, which, as some of you know, or you could check out, is essentially the same as US made. It's the Japanese version of CM154. From what I know and from what I've read, there were some production problems originally with the 154 CM steel. So Benchmade had elected to go with the ATS 34. It's been a great steel. No problems with it over all these years. Some use, you could still put a great edge on there. No nicks, no snapping, no burrs, or at least not now. All ground out. So, it's held up great over the years. That's a testament to the type of steel it is. The M4, I would love to be able, again, I sort of mentioned it with the Gaucho, which also came out in M4 steel. I would love to be able to actually, see what the thing could do and how it holds up. Probably very similar to D2 steel, I would imagine. And if you guys have checked out Quiet Bear's videos on the steel, you could sort of get a comparison of what's going on there. But anyway, I digress. Just looking at the knife, you could see the very aggressive shape of it. This contouring, again, it just fits right into the hand. Even though for its size and its length, the balance of it, it's just great. The handles, it feels like a much smaller knife than it is, which is a very cool thing. Comparatively, the only one I have in my collection that sort of sticks out, it is a long knife. The Emerson CQC8, very similar. If you could sort of see there, deep finger choil groove, nice ergonomics on the curve. The Emerson is much thicker as far as handles go. The blade shape, you could see obviously different, but same sort of idea. The AFCK, very flat, folds down, the Emerson up, but as far as handle grip goes, very similar. Very, very, very similar. So gives you the same type of ergonomics, deep grip into it. Great type of use. So there is the Benchmade AFCK M4 steel. If you guys can find these out there at a reasonable price, I implore you, pick one up. Do what you can to get one. It's absolutely great. I really wish Benchmade had gone with the full release version of it. They unfortunately didn't, but it is what it is. What can you do, right? So there we go. It's a little piece of history, revamped and reissued. Was looking forward to this for so many years. I missed the D2 release. Again, they did a limited version of it. Wasn't able to get on a list to get one. But this time, luck was on my side, and with the help of some other people, I was able to get one, and very happy. So if you guys see it, keep your eyes open. Grab one if you can. You can check out on the forums. You could do a search for Chris Caracci, C-A-R-R-A-C-C-I. Check out some of his stuff. He still does a lot. He's still very active out in the community there. He used to have, or still does, have his own place on the Blade forums. I believe it's called CJ's Urban Jungle or something like that. But he's phenomenal guy. If you read some of his stuff and some of the advice he gives, it's just great. Again, U.S. Navy SEAL, thank him for his service. You know, it's guys like him that let you sleep a little bit better at night. Keeps the bad guys awake. Anyway, that's about it. Questions, comments, please post them, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.